Yes. And
hey guys, it's Harmony. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, beautiful. All right, so that's Harmony. That's my granddaughter. Thank you so much for the intro. All righty, so she's headed over to the audience with Papa. And we're going to get ready for the show. For you guys that are tuning in on Wisdom, you know how it goes. You're in the background. You can call in on the microphone to join in on the topic. Tonight, I'm talking about perfection. I am back for the summer vibes, and we have a lot of things we're about to talk about. So, DJ Lyric, let's get us going with some music. And we're going to go ahead and get started.
Even when it don't feel right, I still wanna party with her. Even when it don't feel
Share this live, share this live.
You know I'ma party with her, with her, with her. She be calling on a Monday, wanna meet on Tuesday, asking me to fix me up real nice. She can wait until the weekend, she wants off the deep end, telling me to bring the stuff I like. I don't wanna let her down, so I'm telling her yes. Though I'm counted down from the pain in my chest, but I'm putting that aside now. I'ma feel her right now, happy from the stuff I know she likes. I've been trying my luck every day of the week, yeah. With my baby, what's up? Ay, always down every week, yeah. Know I love her too much, but I just can't get enough. She's slipping through the cracks, call my bluff. She know what's up, can't get enough, yeah. Even when it don't feel right, I still wanna party with her. Oh yeah, even when it don't feel right, hey, you know I'ma party with her, with her, with her. We be chillin' on the Wednesday, slept until it's Thursday. She don't wanna leave me, not just yet. Told me all about last Friday when she went all crazy. Didn't go to bed till Saturday. I don't wanna go without, so I ask her to stay. Though she broke my heart in a million ways, but I'm putting that aside now. I'ma feel alright now, happy just as long as she's with me. I've been trying my luck every day of the week, yeah. With my baby, what's up? Always down every week, yeah. No, I love her too much, but I just can't get enough. She's slipping through.
All right, you guys, so we're talking perfection tonight. Thank you so much for coming by. Katina, we see you. I think that's how you say your name. Over there on Wisdom, feel free to join on the microphone. Wisdom, you can have up to 15 minutes to share your thoughts on the topic. We are talking tonight on a journey to perfection. Are you trying to be perfect? If you are trying to be perfect, here is the reason why the wisdom I want to share, the wisdom nugget, I should say, that I want to share. Here's the reason why you need to stop. Okay. So I'm telling you guys, at any given time, there's going to be something that you're going to be setting out to do. And if you are, especially if you have my personality type, like I have one of those rare personality types, INFJ. So if you have that INFJ, which is like 2% of the population personality trait, you will find yourself in this mode. I was watching Beyonce's documentary, and she just shows how she just Virgos especially, and I'm INFJ, like that type of personality is always trying to go above and beyond. The only healing that can come from making yourself understand is that there is no such thing as perfection. Now, there are going to be levels to this topic. So we're going to be talking about different things that I am talking about on this, because I am not saying that I want you to procrastinate to the point of sitting on your couch and never giving any effort at all because, oh, woe is you. You are not going to be able to be perfect. I am just telling you that if you are actually not getting out there and jumping to what it is that you are setting out to do for your future, if you are just sitting on it waiting for this perfect moment to come, or if you're trying to get to this place where I am, I'm really, really good at it. And now I'm going to get out there and jump out there and do it. Right? What if when I started the podcast in 2010, what if I had said, well, let's just wait till you get all those till you stop saying what if I had said that? We would never get anywhere, because once I get on the microphone, I'm probably going to say several times. So what if I had said, well, D, when you no longer do that, then you're ready to be a podcast host? Are you serial? Like, that's something that I would not have been able to do. And then what if I had said, well, you need to tone down your personality. You need to not give so much extra. You need to do this, you do that. And once you're no longer doing that, you are perfect, D. And then you could go start your podcast and you could go ahead and do whatever it is that you set out to do. Would I have been to this point right now? Would I have made it to 2022? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There is no such thing as reaching a level of perfection where nothing else is needed, where you do not need to add anything else to the table, where you're going to be just in this perfect place to where, now I'll go get started on those goals. If you wait for that moment, you're going to be waiting into forever. It's never going to happen. You should be waking up every day learning something new, especially if you're set out to do something. So, say a podcast, or if you're setting out to write a book, right? Whatever it is that you're setting out to do, if you say, well, let's just talk about the book world on the perfection, right? So what if I had to say, well, you know what? I have all these books that I'm trying to write, which is a total of 25 so far. So I have all these books that I'm trying to write. I've only did 6, but if I had 25 books and I'm trying to write them, what if I have never gotten to the first book? What if I had never wrote them in more? What if I had just sat there and said, you know what? I'm going to wait until I get a publisher. Baby, I'm here to tell you this, that getting a publisher is not something that is easily going to fall into the average everyday Debbie and Susie and Joe's lap. Okay, you're not going to just have publishers kicking the door in if you will not Beyonce, Rihanna, Jay-Z, or Kanye West. So if you are not any of those people, publishers are not going to knock on your door and kick it in the moment you say you want to write a book. So are you going to not write that project, which is a part of your legacy that you are going to leave on this world? Are you going to just not get out there and do it because you're waiting for the best publisher out there for your genre of writing to contact you? Boo. I promise you that holding your breath is not even a good idea right now, because if that's what you're waiting for, unless you are the type of person when people see your picture, they know your name. You guys know that type of person when they see your picture, they know who you are. Chris Brown, Rihanna, Oprah, Justin Bieber, Tom Cruise. If you're not that person where when they see your picture and your name is nowhere near it and people know who you are, publishers are not going to just kick in the door for you unless you've been a part of some kind of viral sensation moment and they say, okay, yes, I want to get that person's story out there. But so those are rare instances that barely happen in life, and only 6% of the population is even famous, right? So are you really going to not get out there and do what it is that you set out to do? Because if you want to put out a good product, I get that. And I'm not telling you to put something sloppy out there. If you want to put out better product, then you're going to do the research. Then you're going to put out more money. The more money you put out, you're going to get an editor. You're going to get a team. And then when you have a team, then you'll build on the dream, right? And then you'll get to this level of where you have something to present. And if people like what it is that you're presenting, then they're going to give you a bigger platform. But you have to get started, because if perfection is what you are looking for to get started, and you think that the perfect thing has to come along, we're going to use that same scenario and talking about relationships in just a minute. So if you think that the perfect scenario has to come along in order for you to build or just get started on your dream, and you think that you're going to sit there and you're just going to wait and you're going to come home from that. It's not even 9 to 5 anymore. It's a recession. People are working 9 to 9. So you think that you're going to come home from this 9 to 9 job that you're working, and oh man, this is the day that the perfect moment has arrived where I can get started on building my dream. If you're waiting for that, that is not what it takes to get started. We're going to talk a little bit more. Right now, DJ Lyric is going to bring us in to a little Wasted Love.
Come on over, let's pick up where we left off. You and I had lots of love just to top it off. We can wind it down for days, never let it stop. I just want your everything, baby. Maybe later we can dance, never let go. Listen to our favorite songs on the radio. Losing up and lose ourselves to this feeling, oh. I just want your everything, baby. I'll be deep under your influence tonight. Ooh, keep it coming, babe. I don't mind another round. Drinking from your bottle, baby. Calling it wasted love, wasted love. I can't get enough of my baby. I'ma be wasted love, wasted love. I'm spilling liquor on the carpet, on the couch. I feel it dripping from my mouth. Drinking from your bottle, baby. Calling it wasted love, wasted love. Moon is rising and the stars are coming out. But we miss it cause we're way down on the ground. Ain't nobody interrupting if we decide. I just need an hour with you, baby. Yeah. And we be blinded by the lights, oh. We get this feeling.
DJ Lyric, also known as my granddaughter, says, you know what? She says, you said, are you serial? I say it on purpose. She said, you didn't say, are you serious? You said, are you serial? That is so right. I said, are you serial? I said that on purpose. That's just a little phrase. I got it from one of my besties. I forgot. I think she said her daughter says it or something like that. Are you serial? Okay, so listen. Perfection. You can't wait for your success to feel empowered. That's what a motivational speaker said today. And that's what another place that I could take you to when you're trying to get to this level of just getting out there and getting started. You need to start your morning with motivational speeches. I hope I'm one of those that you're going to press play on. So let's go ahead and show you guys where to follow. You can listen to me on all podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you want to listen, even here on Wisdom, wherever it is that you want to listen, you can take a listen to me. Okay, you guys. And I'm sorry, I think, did I lose my Wisdom audience? Let's see. Hold on a second. All right, I think I still have you guys. Hey, Wisdom, are you still here? All right, I'm gonna bring Wisdom back. And bring them back, because somehow I think I know exactly how I lost Wisdom. All right, Wisdom, I think I know how I lost you guys. Thank you for coming back. But we're live recording the podcast, so we can't take too much time with that. So thank you for all of those who did show. And here's the part 2. That's the great part about being on that app, is that they have the link to the podcast, and they can just click right on there and catch whatever it is that they missed. So listen. If you are waiting to feel empowered, to get started, if you're waiting for something to say, there's this thing of this moment that's going to happen. And once I feel this moment happening, and once this gets started, then yep, that's it. That's going to work for me. Now is my time to go. You're needing some kind of special action to take place to get going. And it's coming from an outside source. You're not the person that's putting in the effort. You're waiting for some kind of outside source. I don't know. You need TMZ Live to finally mention you. You're waiting for Twitter to make one of your tweets go viral. You need your TikTok to get millions of views. Whatever it is that you think is supposed to happen before you get started, you're looking at the wrong thing. You're focused on the wrong thing. But here's what my father used to say about perfection. And my father passed away. And I honestly feel like that man was at this level of perfection when this moment happened for him. So my father said, when you reach perfection, guess what? you're no longer a part of this earth. Right? So if you claim, you say, well, you know what, D Shields, I'm going to go ahead and argue with you all the way to the top of the line about that, baby girl. You may not have it together. You may not be perfect, but I'm perfect. So if that's what you say, you feel that you are perfect and you feel that you're going to challenge me on that. You can even get on the microphone and say, you know what? I'm going to challenge you on that because I am perfect, D. You're the one that thinks that there's no such thing as perfection, but I am perfect. It's okay. So if you feel that you have reached perfection, I'm looking at a ghost. If I'm going to take my father's advice, then I am looking at a ghost, okay? So my father says, again, and I repeat, perfection happens when you are no longer a part of this earth. You're no longer here. That's when the universe and God has said, you have done everything that I have called you to do. And this is your stopping point, right? We all like, what was the movie? Soul, Jamie Foxx's movie. What was that? Soul. So if that's what you're needing, and if that's what you say, well, that's my goal. And until it's there, then that's when that moment is perfect, when everything around me is perfect, when people are quiet and there's no sounds in the background and there's no distractions going on and my job is finally going to give me some PTO, all that. Then I'll get my podcast started. Then I'll create my logo. Then I'll build my team. All these things that you think that it takes that. Guess what? If it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. So if that's what you did and you didn't put any effort out and you didn't put any product out and you don't have anything to leave for your legacy, well, once it's time to go, it's time to go. And that'll be the only level of perfection that, you've reached the perfection of what the universe said that you have to offer. Is that what you want? Is that what you really feel that you want, right? So here we're going to go into another song. I hope you guys will stick with me, Wisdom. If not, we're going to do a part 3 over there on Wisdom. Stick with me, and we're going to go into another song. All right, so that's really literally how I feel when it comes to the topic on perfection, that my father's advice is the number one advice on that. If you're thinking that, let's go into relationships because I said that's what I would talk about, right? So a part 2 of this is why wait? You can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. So if you can stay right where you are, that's another thing that was said on the motivational speech this morning, right? So you can stay right where you are and suffer through and wait for this moment to happen and no distractions, and you can just sit there and just wait and it'll get better, and then I'll get the podcast started. Why? All you need to do is just download an app. Right? I have my podcast. I've been doing podcasts since 2010. When I first started podcasts, I started out on Blog Talk Radio. I really enjoyed my time on Blog Talk Radio. And I say that because it gave me an opportunity, because I came in at a time where I was listening to a lot of different podcasts and different guests that would come on, and I was interested in that. And then the button would come up all the time, do you want to start a podcast? And people would say, oh yeah, I have this INFJ personality, so I know that Myers-Briggs has already told me that I'm natural motivational speaker. I'm doing my psychology classes, aiming to be a counselor, a therapist. So I'm going for all these things that I want to do. I started and finished my life coach certification. So I knew the direction that I wanted to go, but I was just sitting and listening to podcasts. And finally one day in 2010, I go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just do it. I'm just going to go ahead and just jump in there and just get it done. And if this is no good, which I'm telling you, the first couple of episodes were trash. I had this phrase that I was saying in the guy that I was dating, he was killed on his bike. And not too long after, like a few months after that, he was killed on his bike. But he used to tell me, are you going to keep saying that? Because he said when he would listen to the show, when he was deployed in Afghanistan, and he would always go, why does she keep saying it? And I was saying, I'm talking about, because I'm from Texas. So, I'm talking about. And I just thought that was going to be like, I could bring my Texas slang and people were going to be okay with that. And it was not coming across well with the listeners, right? The soldiers over there like, no, I'm not talking about. Could just give us a whole topic, right? So I had to learn a lot. But it gave me a door opener to an area that I wanted to be in. So I ended up having phenomenal conversations, right? I got a chance to interview R&B sensation Kelly Price. Loved Kelly Price when she came on the show. And in Saturday Night Live, and all of these connections would come through conversations that I was having on Twitter. And then Saturday Night Live, I ended up getting to talk to Finesse Mitchell. So Finesse, that was one of my greatest. I'll play that for you guys one day. It was one of the funniest interviews that I've ever done. I also got a chance to talk to the, mother of the famous group, the DeBarges. So Mama DeBarge came on to talk to me. And that's when I realized, okay, Dee, this is your thing, right? This is your calling. And then multiple connections continued on from there. I already had, connections in a lot of different areas of fame, of people who are famous and in that world. But I just knew that, okay, this is my calling. This is what I do. And I just continued on. I was harsh on myself because in the beginning I would do like 7 days a week, and I would always have this process of waiting until the children would sleep because it's relationship talk, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about and what the guests are going to be. One time I talked to Mr. Marcus. That's the adult world for people who know. So, and shout out to Mr. Marcus because he's always tuning into my podcast. So, it was, you never know who I was going to have a conversation with. So I wanted it to be like late at night, and I was driving myself crazy. I'd have callers calling in, 25, 30 callers a night. And I was trying to do it 7 days a week. That's burnout. So I realized, okay, what are you doing this for? In order for you to reach what? Fame? In order for you to be more recognized? In order for people to know, girl, it's not Oprah, it's D. I don't know. What was the goal? And I realized you're doing too much. This is the INFJ kicking in. This is the Virgo kicking in. You're doing too much, Miss Personality. Like, you need to kick back. And I did, and I would take breaks. I would do long breaks, like the one you guys just saw me do a 4-week break here on the podcast, right? So I would take long breaks, right? Because sometimes that's necessary. And I was more gentle with myself, and I had to remember my father's advice, right? Perfection, that's what you're trying to do with the show. You're going to be gone when it's perfect. Everything that you were created to do, once you're done doing what you were created to do, every bit of it, that's it. You're going to go to the great beyond, right? Everybody will love the little soul cartoon. I loved it, Jamie Foxx. So, that's not the mission, right? Not to go right now. I want to get what Dion calls, what did he say? I have 30 to 40 good summers left in me, right? So I want to get 30 to 40 good more summers left with my amazing grandchildren and grandpuppies. So why drive myself in the ground for this goal of perfection? People lie to you and tell you all the time, some people, it's for them, it's not for me. I know that your heart is going to be healthier if you get your 7 hours of sleep. I am a believer. I'm kind of like really thrown off if I'm not in bed by 8:30 and up by 3:30 or 4, right? It's a biological thing. Like I need to lay down, I need to get up at a certain time, right? And I need to get 7 hours. People will tell you, oh, you're never going to make it if you don't grind and just get an hour of sleep and wake back up. That's how I became a millionaire. I am not going to feed you that garbage. You need to take care of your heart. You need to get sleep. You're a better person. You need to do everything you can to take care of your body. And getting 1 hour of sleep for this endless goal of meeting Rihanna backstage one day to take a selfie, stupid. Like, that's not the dream. I'm not saying that that's how basic your dreams are, but come on, that's not it, right? So we're going to talk about perfection in relationships, and we've saved that part for the last. I'm not going to do a lot with it because you guys know how to do. So we're not going to do too much with it, but I am going to do a little bit more music, and then we're going to talk about that thing that you guys are looking for, that long list of pros that must exist in order for you to try love again. We're going to give that a talk in just a minute. But first, a shout out some people. Thank you so much, Wisdom, for coming by. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for so much, podcasters that are listening. Whether you clicked in on Twitter, iamdeeshields. Clicked in on Facebook, iamdeeshields. That's it. Let's talk. Wherever it is that you found the link, thank you so much for listening. Facebook, thank you for playing the podcast and posting the podcast for me. I appreciate that extra kick because it is giving me more connections with more listeners. So I appreciate it. Wisdom, thank you for keeping the podcast up, and that is giving me more connections. I appreciate it. All right, we showed all the love that we could show. Listen to me wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it is just wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen on Google, Amazon Music, YouTube. Is that why I got cut earlier? Because I started saying all those other apps. All right, I want to say that. Wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, DJ, we're going to go back into a little music. DJ is going to bring us back into a little music. Wisdom, feel free to get on the microphone. We are live on the podcast. All right, you guys, so we are back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you for taking the time to tune in and being patient and still being here after my water breaks. DJ Lyric, shout out to DJ Lyric. You guys give her some of your love again, a.k.a. my oldest granddaughter. Did you guys hear my amazing, beautiful granddaughter, the baby, open the show? Loved it. Loved it. And did I tell you guys, for my listeners that are like, where have you been? So look, Denver, Colorado. So you guys, I'm not there for a few months because we're having a baby. Did I tell you that? So of course, all of my children are grown and they have grandchildren and I have grandpuppies. So apparently I'm not having a baby according to my daughter. But my daughter in Germany is having a baby. And so that's all of our baby, right? That's my baby on the way with my baby's having a baby. So that's why I've been a little busy, but I appreciate you guys always showing back up because we're about to have a baby. And she has my middle name also, so I'm really excited about that. Stay tuned to my Instagram so you can get to see the mommy pictures. That's coming up soon. So, I am Deeshields. I am DEESHIELDS. You can find me across social media the same. And listen here, DJ Lyric has some art, so I'm going to post the link for you. Her art is posted up on my Etsy, so I'll make sure that I put that on my Twitter. I think you can scroll my Twitter right now and check out the link. All right, so we paid the bills. Now, let's get back to the show. So, perfection in relationships. I want to laugh. I want to laugh because it's not funny, because there's someone out there that really is holding back, right? I'm going to tell you a true story. I happen to know over 10 women I personally know. I won't even call out what category that they're in because then they're going to feel totally attacked. But I happen to know, well, I'll just say in the family and friends and work. So that way it combines, because I'm the person that knows like hundreds of women, right? So it takes them a while to kind of cross them all off the list and be nosy for a while, figuring out who it is. I have to know over 10 women who have made it over the age of 50, almost 60 years old, with a desire to be married, with a desire to have children, that have not made that decision to be committed and to follow through with some of the most amazing men that have showed up in their lives, because those men did not meet the list that looks like the world's most OCD perfectionist list that I have ever seen. So these women I have had to see, over the years of me and having my children and raising my children, and then watching my children have children, and watching my children go into careers and all those things. And I've had to sit and watch these women not have the life they wanted, because those guys that came in their life had something that they didn't like about them that made them not good enough to be the husband. So they let amazing men pass by because they were not perfect. You are going to miss out on the experience of love if you look for perfect. Now, I am not telling you to accept mediocre, and I am definitely not telling you to settle, right? But you do have to give a little wiggle room in there, because the universe didn't think that Mr. Perfect was for you. I'm going to say this. I'm not saying you're not going to find them at that 80th summer. I'm just saying that at some point, the universe didn't agree that you deserve to have him in the years without the wrinkles. Because if the universe thought so, then they would have sent you this person that had everything checked off on your list. So if you're one of those women and you're sitting there, maybe the wrinkles haven't started on your face, and you're sitting there, you're saying, you know what, I do have this impossible list, and I am not allowing some of the most amazing people that I have met, or, vice versa, however you date, however you love. I have I happen to be straight, so I talk from a straight perspective. But if you love, however you love, if you're waiting for the day or the there or the him or the she, whatever it is that you're waiting for, and that person has not showed up because of this perfectionist list, I want you to go back and I want you to edit the list. And then when you move and edit the list and filter it and go through it a little bit, did you meet that person? Is that person in the room with you right now? Did you just go out on a date with that person? Did you pass that person over and over again at social outings over the last couple of months? Is it possible that the person that is there for you, is there, but your perfectionist list is causing you to not interact with that person into a better future for the both of you? Just visit it, because I'm here to tell you that you're not going to find the perfect person. Even if you find the person that has like amazing looks, like they are super gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous, I am telling you, there's going to be something about that person that doesn't work. The looks work, but there's other things that don't, right? So this is what you need to do when it comes to looks. And a lot of times, most of the women that I'm speaking to you about have looks at the top of that list. Looks do not feed my soul. Looks can't have a conversation with me. Looks can't fly me to Dubai. Looks can't take me over to Paris every other night. Looks can't pick me up in a private jet. I don't know. Looks is just not enough for me, Not saying that my guy has to be Russell Wilson, unless Sierra, you want to share. Because sister, I don't mind share. I'm joking. But no, literally, you can't just go on looks, because looks is a perk. So if you're going to edit the list for me tonight, can you please move looks to the bottom of the list? Looks are a perk, right? I come from a military family, kind of setting, right? So we live in a reality of what life really is. So in the military world, we see women send a beautiful guy to war. And we see, men send a beautiful woman to war. And then they get hurt. And sometimes they stop and they have surgeries and all kinds of things. And they come back and they don't look like the person that they were, but they're still that amazing person that they love so much. Would they leave them because they no longer check the looks category? So please stop. Please stop. Looks are not forever. Looks are not forever, so please get that off the top of your list. I understand the eye desire and all that other silly stuff that you feed yourself all day. But if you are going to stop there for happiness, you know, and this is a woman, I'm telling you, I'm engaged to a looker cooker. You know, like this dude is fine as hell. You know what I'm saying? But if I stop there, it's not going to feed my soul if that's the only thing that he has to offer. And good looking people, that comes with a lot. Like, really good looking people comes with a lot of help that'll, you know, you can't even imagine. So don't make looks the top of your thing. Like, you need to have other things that feed your soul. But that's just me, right? Hey, Wisdom, thank you guys so much for coming by. I want to try to do this real quick. I'm going to try to get for the audience members, I'm going to try to take a look. Johnny, JCLV, thank you. Kathleen, Ismail, thank you so much. Chatiel, thank you. Romeo Bay, thank you. Megan, thank you. Michelle, thank you. Felicia, thank you. Dr. Goodman, thank you. Chris Thomas, thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Feel free if you want to get on the mic, okay? So that's the topic on perfection, and that was the main points that I wanted you guys to focus on. I hope that I said something that literally gave you food for thought for this TGIF, right? And if it didn't, I'll come back and I'll give you something else again. Because that's what I do. Because we all know Summer 22 vibes, right? So I'll come back and I'll give you something else. So you can tweet me something that you needed to hear more of on this topic, and we'll revisit it again, okay? Sound fair, sounds good to me. You can follow me on socials. I am iamdeeshields. You can follow your girl on Instagram if you nosy like that. Facebook, don't send them friend requests. Just go over to the iamdeeshields, you know, because to be my friend, it takes a lot more than listening to my show. All right, but you can go over to iamdeeshields. You can also go to That's It, Let's Talk. Or go find me on Twitter, iamdeeshields, okay? So DJ gonna get me into a little... We back, baby.
I still wanna party with her, even when it don't feel right. You know I'ma party with her, with her, with her.
Right, that's for you guys. Thank you, Wisdom, for stopping by.
Wanna meet on Tuesday, asking me to fix me up real nice. She can wait until the weekend. She wants off the deep end, telling me to bring the stuff I like. I don't wanna let her down, so I'm telling her yes. Though I'm kinda down from the pain in my chest, but I'm putting her aside now. I'ma feel her right now, happy from the stuff I know she likes. I've been trying my